morning, everybody. I have the pleasure of introducing to you Ben Joseph, who is the Chief Data Officer for the USPS OIG. I would love to understand a little bit about some of the initiatives that you have within USPS OIG to facilitate leveraging these technologies for the benefit of your mission.
Sure. That's a space that is very close to my heart to begin with. And I have to say that in the past 2 years, we have made long strides, I would say. We have actually had lots of successes. And one of the things that we are doing at USPS OIG, again, we have like strong support from our leadership itself, my beloved IG as well as our DIG, right? They both are like big proponents of tech, and they are like, okay, we don't need to be on the bleeding edge, but at least let's be on the cutting edge, and let's make sure that we experiment enough, we innovate enough, and see if there is value and put that value in the hands of our customers, right, which is our auditors and investigators. So, and we have taken that to our heart, and we have actually made hay out of it. So in terms of AIML, we have devised a strategy on how to address it, and we are actually taking a cautionary approach when I say this. We are using a crawl, walk, and run model. Okay, so one of the first things that we did is we looked at our personnel. We actually did spend a lot of time and effort on upskilling our folks. We also brought in new folks. We also upskilled our current folks. So there is that element. Then the second thing is the tech acquisitions, right? So we have actually brought in the latest and greatest of the tools. And we have also kind of modernized our architecture. It's not just the tools, right? We also need to know how we are going to use these tools. Like what type of an architecture are we going to put in place? Because we use tools like Databricks, we are in Azure. Those are all great, right? So how do you define a space where the data scientists can actually do their experiments? How do you move some of those experiments that are valuable into a production-like scenario? And then how do you manage MLOps, the machine learning operations, right? So those are things that we kind of devised, and we have a target state architecture that we built out, or it is in the process of building out. I would say that's probably around 50% to 60% done. So there is that architecture piece that is still going on. And then the third thing that we've done is we started looking at the process side of the fence, that is governance and process. So we're starting to think about, okay, what type of policies or guidelines and standards do we need to come up in the space, right? So we are starting to look at, okay, we started with the traditional machine learning aspects, but then with Gen AI that has come along in the past 1.5 years, that has kind of changed the scene completely. So now what we're doing is we are starting to come up with a certain set of guidelines, which is like acceptable use policies, which is specific to our agency, on how do you use tools like your ChatGPTs or your clouds or Geminis, right? Google Geminis and all that. So how do you actually make use of them, and what type of things that folks need to follow? So, and then we are working with our partners in CIO to ensure that we are actually able to enable some of this for our business operations itself, like usage of Copilot and all, right? Those are things that are upcoming. So that there is that. Now, just to speak quickly about Gen AI, one of the things we did is it's a very fancy and it is a very sexy thing. Great. First thing that we did is we wanted to do a couple of prototypes. Okay, so as far as I'm concerned, I'm of the opinion that, okay, when you build solutions, we should be able to kind of touch and feel them, and should be right in front of us. And that's the way I kind of see architecture as a solution. So one of the barriers that we had is the way OpenAI has been exposed to us just through an API. We have no idea about what I'm putting in, what I'm getting back, and that is like, it is purely up to us to kind of try and interpret it. So that's a model that we wanted to kind of stay away until we kind of gain more confidence and we have more in-depth confidence in their research papers and all that. So that's something that we have parked on the side. Now, how did we go about this entire space, Gen AI? We actually use some of our open source models. They have been exposed through some of the vendors like Meta, right? They have Llama, and then Databricks actually exposed their own models called as Dolly. So what we did is we actually brought them in. We built our own prototypes, a ChatGPT-like prototype. We ingested our own data and we tried to ask questions, and we saw some pretty promising results. And then the second thing that we did is we did a feasibility study to see, okay, where it is, how it is this something that we want to go for now, or should we do a wait? Okay, so there is this thing called as a weight calculation, right? Sometimes, you can start now, you can start build it, and it might take you a long time to build. By the time you get there, you might have more advancements in the time that you're taking to build. And if you wait, you might be able to get there much faster. Something that is used in the space world of things. So that's the approach that we are taking. And what we're doing there is, we know what it is, but the challenges that we have had is with the enablement. That is, how do you take this and operationalize it? We just didn't think that is very feasible because the cost element was something that was scary. And some of the use cases that we had, we could probably accomplish it in a different shape or form. So the approach that we're taking as far as Gen AI is concerned, we're going to probably wait it out a little bit and then probably see, and we're going to revisit it probably in another 6 months or a year and go from there. Now, as far as the traditional AI/ML space is concerned, we have several different efforts that we have embarked on, and we are seeing results on those. And those results have already been incorporated into our current tools, and that is already empowering some of our end users. These are things like your simple anomaly detection, just traditional NLP, natural language processing models that we utilize, and that is already yielding results. And we are also making some headway into computer vision or CV, because we also deal with a lot of images as well as videos. Sometimes, it is, we have also come to a realization that sometimes it's much better to go ahead and buy something off the market as opposed to build it on your own. Because our experiments with things like YOLO or Coco, right? Those are like open source models that are available, or image sets that are available. But we just saw that, okay, it's going to take us a long time to mature that and, get there. So just working with our investigative partners, we figure that, okay, maybe it is better to kind of build buy a product and then build on top of it and augment our tools. So, I know I said a lot, but that's kind of in a nutshell where we are heading to with AI/ML.
Fantastic. Ben Joseph, the Chief Data Officer of USPS OIG. Thank you very much for your time, sir.
Thank you, Mike. It was great talking to you.
Appreciate it.